Hi everybody, it's me, Joe Graziano, vJoeG. Welcome back for another edition of my From the Field video series, talking about all the different things that I am doing in IT, technology, and just fun. Today's video is actually sponsored by my good friends at Synology. I've worked with them for the past 3-4 years using their devices in my home lab. I've done a couple of blog posts, and this video today covers the Synology-DS923 Plus, which I was fortunate enough to get my hands on recently and do an unboxing, a setup, and configuration into my home lab. So you're going to see those segments in today's video. I encourage you to like and subscribe below for any updates for future videos. But without further ado, let's get into the unboxing. We're going to talk about the new Synology disk station that got sent to me by my good friends at Synology. We're going to unbox and set this up. Well, this is just the unboxing video. I'm going to take this bad boy out, see what comes included. Lots of good bubble wrap for safety. Lots of bubble wrap. We have two little boxes. Can't get them open. More tamper-resistant tape. Lots of popping. Popping is very satisfying. Okay, so what we have here is two 4 terabyte drives that will go into this disk station to provide us our storage. So let's take the disk station out, get this bad boy front and center. So this is the DS923 Plus. So it comes with 4 bays. But as you can see here, we've got 2 disks for now, which should be plenty to get us up and running for the environment that we're going to build. So I'm not going to take these out just yet. I'm going to leave them right there. Get this bad boy open. So, power cable. Couple of Ethernet cables. Keys for locking and unlocking the system. The other part of the power cable. Quick install guide.
then for the coup de grace, the Synology disk station. There's the front of the unit with the 4 bays, an additional USB, and the power button. Again, this is the DS923 Plus. And then on the back, dual fans, dual Ethernet, another USB. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna get this bad boy configured, and we'll see you back for the rest of the video.
So, pretty sweet little setup. We took the next steps, got it fired up, got it installed, and next we're going to jump into the configuration, and we'll go from there. See you soon. Have a look at this link. This is the Disk Station DS923 Plus, the device that we're going to be configuring and adding to my network. So the link for this will be down below. I encourage you to check out all of Synology's products. This is now the 3rd device that's going to be in my environment. So let's go ahead and get started with the setup. Once you have it plugged into your network, once you have it powered on, it will grab a DHCP address, and you can see that by clicking on device info. Nothing surprising here. But you're going to want to pick a static IP address for the future. But what's great about it is you do get a DHCP address, assuming you have DHCP configured, which, let's face it, we all do. So we come back to the screen here, and we're going to click install to start the setup process. The installation needs to download the latest version from Synology, or if you do want to go to the download center, you can pull the patch manually and upload it on your home network if you don't want to, or if maybe your DHCP network doesn't have access to the outside world. In my case, it does, so I'm going to automatically download the latest version. Little warning, all the disks that you installed will be deleted. Pretty standard. I mean, the disks were brand new out of the box anyway, so I'm going to click continue here. And then we're going to take a quick break, fast forward, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and as you can see here, the IP address changed when I updated the firmware. So another suggestion I would have is make sure you've got a good tool to see what devices have IP addresses, if you're using your internet gateway or if you have a DHCP server on your network. I had to go take a look and see that in fact on reboot, the Synology picked a new IP address. So we're here, and as you can see, welcome to DSM 7.2, which is the update. And now we're going to, well, first of all, you could click the See What's New button here, which will take you out to the Synology site and give you an idea of what's changed, what's available. Feel free, those are the release notes for the update. So we're going to click Start. We're going to give the device a name. I'm just going to call this NAS3. We're going to blur some of this stuff out as we get ready for processing. another wait. Insert Jeopardy music here. Okay, wasn't quite that bad. Okay, so upgrades. Automatically do the DSM and package updates, do just the latest DSM and package updates, or notify me. I typically like to do what's recommended. Again, this is a home lab, nothing too big a deal. But for this exercise, we're going to say automatic. If you have a problem, you can always come back in the system and change this to notify, and that way you have a little more control if you're in production and you've got maintenance windows, that type of thing. So again, if you are in production, I would probably recommend doing notify simply because you want to have a little bit more control over. In fact, you know what? I'm going to tell this to notify me. We're going to treat this as production, and we're going to go next. Okay, at this point, it's suggested that you create a Synology account. You will go to the Synology website for that. You can have, you'll get all of these features, secure sign-in. You can access your NAS from anywhere if you want to have access outside of your environment. I don't at the moment. And around-the-clock monitoring. It's always just about every experience out there now is asking if you want to opt in. We're going to for now so that Synology can get the data from this because, like I said, this device is sponsored by Synology. They gave this to me for lab testing purposes, so we're going to give them the data they need to help improve the services. Okay, secure access and files from everywhere. I don't want this right now. Maybe I'll tell it to remind me later just in case. Two-factor authentication. Again, we're not going to set that up right now. In fact, maybe we'll do a piece in the configuration part of this video series. In fact, I take that back. We will do the two-factor authentication shortly. But for now, we're going to say remind me later. I'll show you where in the system that you can do this. Adaptive MFA. This is use your email address. I'm actually going to use my VMware email address because you can see the information here in my profile below. So we'll verify this. Okay. We'll be right back while we verify that information. Okay, so verification is complete. And you see here, you can go to the DSM personal account information if you ever want to change this detail. But we are now protected by adaptive multi-factor authentication, which gives us a little bit, probably a lot more peace of mind that you won't get hit by spyware, ransomware, attackers. So we're done that. So we will not take a quick tour at the moment, but we are going to create a storage pool and volume because it's prompting us, so we might as well keep going. Okay. So we're going to start creating storage pools and volumes. I installed two 4 terabyte drives into this system. RAID type. You've got a lot of different features here. For me and for this purpose right now, I'm just going to do a bunch of disks, no fault tolerance because I just want to access the data. But if you were concerned a little bit more about what's going to be on here and you wanted to sacrifice a little bit of storage for a lot of protection, again, pick any one of these RAID options and you'll be good to go. Storage pool description. We're going to call this storage 3. Very, very fun name. No, it's pretty basic, but you get the picture. It's just a description. Okay, here are my 2 drives. So I'm going to select them. And you can see here that because I don't have any RAID enabled, I'm getting 7.3 terabytes of disk space. Again, I'm probably going to find an alternative backup solution, and we can even talk about that. We will talk about that in some subsequent videos. I'm going to use those backup solutions to back up the data on here versus just having RAID protect them. So again, no RAID at the moment, giving me 7.3 terabytes, which is going to be valuable disk space for the tasks that we're going to put the server to use on. Next, skip drive check. They just came in. I'm going to take the risk and trust it. Again, if there's a problem with the disks, the Synology will tell you. It's really good about checking them ongoing, sending you email alerts when there's a problem with the drive. In fact, one of my old NASs had a drive failure. It emailed me. I was able to pick up a new drive, plop it in, and good to go. Okay, so capacity, allocation size. You could allocate smaller amounts to the volumes. We're just going to create one big volume. A volume description. Super creative again. It caught me. So allocated size. You can go from 10 to the full size. I'm going to hit the max button, and when I do that, it gives me the full size of the disk. That's a little new for me, so that was it was a good call out because it didn't let me click next until I gave it a size. Okay. Do we want which file system? ext4, btrfs. Again, click on this information here to choose your file systems. I'm going to stick to the basics and click next here. Do we want to encrypt this volume? If you're concerned about data protection on the disk, you absolutely can do this. It's going to take a little bit more processing on the back end because obviously when things are encrypted, it's got to go through a lot more processing to protect and decrypt. I'm going to say no for this, but dealer's choice. Okay, and here's all of my information. We're going to confirm our settings. Anything you see, you can go back and change. If there's something that came up here, like maybe I wanted a smaller allocated capacity or I wanted to change the file system, you always have the option to go back before you click apply. And it's going to ask again, are you sure? Yes, we're sure. And that's it. So now you can see we have a healthy system. It's working well. We've got our storage pool, which is basically ready to be pressed into use on our VMware infrastructure. Well, my VMware infrastructure. Again, this is NAS. It's literally a network attached storage device that you can use anywhere. We're using it for VMware, but you could use it for other applications. You can see here that it's saying enable notifications. So let's go there real quick. Let's set up the notifications. And in here, you can see that I can say receive my notifications. Okay, so when you select this, you will need to sign into your Synology account. And then once you do, you have the option of picking, all right, what information do you want? Do you want all notifications, warning notifications, or critical notifications? So in this case, I'm going to say I want all for now. So you'll receive notifications via email when a system status changes or there's an error. And then you have to set up your email provider. And in this case, what I typically do here is, I'm not going to do it right now, but you'll sign in with, if you have a Gmail account, if you have Outlook, you have a custom SMTP server. So you need to be able to sign into an account different from what you're receiving in order to get this information. So in my case, I'll sign into one of my Gmail accounts, and then the emails for the alerts will come from my Gmail account to here. So I have a Gmail account which has my name and Synology in it, so that when I see that, I know that I'm getting notifications from Synology. The subject and body say Synology all over the place, but I just like to see that information so I can whitelist it. Okay, so we're going to apply the changes, and that will take us back to the main system here. Okay, so the next thing we want to do, the last thing we're going to do for this segment, is we want to set up a static IP address. So you're going to come into Control Panel, and from Control Panel, you're going to select Network, and you'll notice that I have my default gateway, all of these settings here. So we'll come into the network interface, and you'll notice too that I do have, the Synology does have 2 network ports. I am only connected via one right now, but you could connect both of them, you can link them, and get more throughput if needed. But from here, we're going to click Edit, and notice it's set to DHCP. We don't want that right now. So the IP address that we're going to give it is one from our network. And subnet mask, default gateway, DNS server. If you want any additional changes to your MTU or your VLANs, totally optional here, totally optional and doable here. If you're working with IPv6, which we're not at the moment, or 802.1x, you can do that authentication as well. So we'll click OK here, and we're going to lose connectivity to this device temporarily as it applies network settings. Then once we're done, we'll switch over and log back in if necessary. I can't remember if it's going to redirect. As you can see here, yep, totally did. So in an older version, wasn't quite the case. You had to redo your link, but you can see here 1.221, that's my new IP address. And now that we're popping back in, it's reminding me later. So we're going to say, nope, remind me later. Extended warranty. If you want to register your device, and I would highly recommend it, do so, and you will get 2-year warranty on top of the factory. We're going to skip this for now. We're going to remind me later for the 2-factor authentication. And there we go. So we're back at the main screen. You can see that we're healthy. So real quick, before we sign off, we're going to go to the control panel again. We're not going to dig deep into the control panel, but I want to show you that this is where you're going to do everything from file sharing to the connectivity where we were just a minute ago changing the IP address. Your system, there's lots of features in here for things like your regional options, your notification, any external devices. You can plug external hard drives and external disks and things into this NAS. There's USB ports on the back. You've got your update and restore. You can set tasks. You can set your application privileges. You can modify or add to the account for the Synology. So lots of things to do here. Again, like I said, come out to the disk station, the Synology site. Look at the disk station link here. You can see the downloads, where you can buy it, your specifications, and then anything you might want to know, just come up to the Solutions and Support Center as well. There's a wealth of information, and I encourage you to check it out. But for now, we're going to sign off. This was the install and configure Next up, we're going to be going into vCenter and doing some of that configuration, but that will be in the next segment. So stick around and we'll be back shortly. Okay, now that we have the NAS set up, the next thing to do is to present the storage to our VMware environment. To do that, we need to come here to what's called SAN Manager. Got welcome information telling you all about the features. We're going to click Start. See some information about VMware and Windows. Click OK, and we do not have a LUN, but we do have disks. So we're going to come down here and we're going to click Create a LUN. No description for now. Total capacity. Again, you can create multiple LUNs if you have a lot of capacity and you need individual individual or separate storage depending on your use case. In my case, because we're just going to use this, we're going to allocate all of it. We're going to get better performance with thick provisioning. However, you can do thin provisioning, which gives your allocation of your storage a little bit more flexibility. For better performance, I'm going to stick with thick for now. So, the total capacity will almost use up volume 1's available space. The low capacity notification will be turned off. That's fine because we're going to get notification inside of vCenter. Okay, we want it to be an iSCSI target. We'll click Next. Any special permissions, we're just going to allow all here, but you can set custom permissions. I encourage you to look at the release notes and documentation for the Synology at the Synology website. It can go into more details about just how granular you can get with these custom permissions. And we confirm. Okay, so now we have a healthy LUN so that we can start making use of it. So let's go over to our ESX host. And you can see here I'm already logged into one of my hosts. We'll come over to storage. And you'll notice here that two other Synologies are already in use. First thing we need to do is we need to create an iSCSI adapter. So again, because we have multiple devices already in place, you can see that we have two other targets. We're going to click Add Static Target. And we're going to put in its, no, take that back. We're going to add a dynamic target. And we're going to put in its IP address. Save our configuration. And when we come back in, you can see now that I have the dynamic IP address of the Synology, the new LUN that we created, and also the static target. Okay, so now that that's done, we'll rescan. Come back over to data stores. Okay, so now that we're over here in data stores, we're going to create a new one now that we have the adapter for the LUN on the Synology. So we're going to create a new VMFS data store. We'll click Next. You'll see that our Synology is available. So we'll call this 03, since this is our third network NAS. We'll click Next. Use full disk. Next, and finish. The entire contents are about to be erased. Again, we know this, we're expecting this. Be careful though, because if you're setting up a device, or if you're setting up a new LUN, or if you're setting up anything that might have existing data on it and you're bringing it in, you're going to wipe it. But in this case, these are all fresh disks, so we're all good to go. So I'm going to click yes. It says here that it was successfully created. We'll dismiss. And we'll pop out and pop back in, and here we are with the new data store for our vSphere environment. You can repeat this on, and you need to repeat this on all of your ESX hosts. For the sake of time here, we're not going to do that right now. But if I come over now to vCenter, you can see that I now have a fully allocated data store for my new Synology NAS. And you can press this into service. You can, in fact, in this environment, I'm going to use it for my Horizon and my Workspace ONE lab. But anything you might want to use it for, I encourage you to check out the Synology website. Like I said before, come into support. You've got your Knowledge Center and anything you could possibly want to learn or ask or research about your Synology devices. And that's it. This concludes our video for the Synology 923 Plus. Again, I would like to thank the team at Synology for access to this really cool piece of equipment. There will be at least one other video in this series using my Synology devices. Look for that coming soon. We're actually going to build a Kubernetes Plex cluster and use the Synology as our NAS. So today you saw the unboxing, the setup, and the vCenter, the vSphere integration of the Synology NAS. I hope that you got a lot from this video. Feel free to leave some comments down below, like and subscribe, and hit that bell for any of my new content that's going to be coming up. And until then, get out there, play with some tech, cook some good food, and have a good time. See you later.